You are Locked On Bulls, your daily Chicago Bulls podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
I mean, honestly, wait a minute. Was I muted the whole time on that? Was I muted the whole time on that? Dang, that's tough. I guess I got to redo this whole thing again. It's that kind of game. That's what the Bulls do to us. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. You found yourself on another edition of Locked On Bulls, member of the Locked On Podcast Network, which your team every single day. It's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. On today's episode, we got to break down how the Bulls dropped 3 straight. Billy's voice just seems to not be resonating anymore. And can the Bulls find any answers? Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet just $5. And if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com to get yourselves started. Bulls dropped 3 straight in what should have been the easiest part of their schedule. They've now lost as they lose to the New Orleans Pelicans tonight, 103-101 off of a game-winning shot from Pascal Siakam. I mean, listen, this is when you talk about a team that has any kind of heart, when more than 2 of the players on this team have come out and openly said the coaches are telling us exactly what we need to do, and we're not executing. I mean, you can see it. You can see it. How many missed defensive rotations? How many missed assignments at the mid-range shot? How many corner threes? How many missed assignments on the top of the key 3 off of a pick and roll screen that the roller doesn't go and kicks it right back up? Like, how many plays do you need to see before you turn your attention to the talent on the team? And we'll talk about the coach. The coach is not absolved. But you have a Bulls team right now that could care less about the Chicago that they wear across their chest. I said this, I think the last time that I did a live solo. You have a team right now who's more worried about looking cool. Maybe I said this with Hayes. 13 of your 15 guys are more worried about looking cool in a Bulls jersey than they are about going out there and winning basketball games. And we can blame specific players. We can blame, it's all of them. Everyone. Whoever your favorite Bull is, he sucks too. Go ahead, Nate. Whichever one y'all want to say. It ain't him. It's him. There's maybe a couple of guys you can say. I'd say Giddey. I'd throw Giddey out there. I'd throw Io out there. Might be it. You have a team right now that has no heart, has no want to, doesn't want to fight back. It's not even playing down to the competition. It's not even showing up versus the competition that you're playing against. Like there's no heart, there's no fight, there's no want to from this team. And so I'm sorry if this podcast comes off a little de-energized. Why am I giving energy to a Chicago Bulls team that doesn't want to give energy on the court? I'll talk about the game. I'll sit here and go through the numbers for you. I'll break it down, what we saw in the game. But I'm done doing the rant and rave. This is not going to be the Matt Peck show. There's no reason for it. I can't have passion for a team that doesn't have passion on the basketball court. I can't have passion for a team when the stat line that we saw for an entire game versus the now 4-16 Indiana Pacers was a game where you didn't have a single quarter where you put up 30 points. And in the quarter that you actually did enough in the fourth quarter to outscore the team you were playing, even though that wasn't a great fourth quarter, you give up the game-winning three. This Bulls team doesn't care. Whether that's because they've tuned out Billy Donovan, and we'll talk about that, whether that's because the one thing that I've learned a lot working with professional athletes in the spaces that I do, I've worked with Lance Briggs now, spoken with Thomas Jones. I work with Jason McKee. I work with Tom Waddle. I work with John Yurkovich. A lot of guys who have had really good professional careers, top of their game. If you need a coach to tell you what to do and to fire you up and for you to want to give the extra to the team, it's you. So I'm to the point where I look at this team, I look at Modest Buzelis, and listen, Modest may be having a sophomore slump. Remember, Ayo Dosunmu had this, and I said, don't be surprised if Ayo has a sophomore slump. And everybody looked at me like, Pat, you're crazy. It's going to fall off. It happened, right? Ayo Dosunmu had a sophomore slump. Modest may be in that right now. I don't know if he's in his own head. I don't know what's happening, but it is not good basketball that we're seeing from him right now. It's not consistent basketball and consistent effort that we're seeing from Modest right now. But, I mean, like, what you saw out of P. Will, what you see out of Trey Jones, it's not good enough. And there's nobody speaking up. There's nobody saying anything about why it's not good enough, except that we're not doing our jobs. The two guys that have spoken are Nikola Vucevic and Ayo Dosunmu, and they both said it's us, not them. Now, if we want to blame Billy, that's cool. But at a certain point, you got to look at the talent that you have on the floor. When you can lose a game to the Indiana Pacers, who, I'm going to be honest with you, are actively trying to tank. Like, there's no mystery about it. It got to a point in this game where literally they went, we kind of got to win it or we may get fined by the NBA. That's how the fourth quarter of this game looked like. That's how the fourth quarter of this game looked like. Indiana went, all right, hold on. Give me a second. Hold on. They may think it's suspicious. They may think we got a Chauncey Billups situation going on here if we lose this game because they're not playing. And that's just unacceptable. I can deal with a lot. As Chicagoans, we can deal with a lot. We can deal with you not going out there and being talented enough. We've seen that. I've seen low talent teams go out there and work hard and play like they care. And we rally behind that team. This Chicago Bulls team does not care. And we don't need to be 15, 20 games into the season to see it. We don't need to be in the second half of the season to see it. They don't care. They don't care about working hard enough on the defensive end to get stops. They don't care about sliding in rotations. You're not good enough. You're talented. I'm not saying the Bulls aren't talented. They're a talented team, but you're not talented enough to not do the everyday game in and game out defensive things that you need to do to win games. Every game we've seen this Bulls team win. Every quarter we see this Bulls team win. They turn defense into offense. Every time. And yet you see that on film and go, I don't want to do that. That's a problem. That's a problem. I don't even know. I'll be honest with you. I don't know if there is a fix for that, short of trading everybody that you feel isn't a part of the future of this team. And I think at this point, like the real conversation you could have, maybe you could still say that about Kobe. Maybe you still throw him in there because you haven't seen a ton from him, but he has played well when he's been out there. I mean, you're not trading Modest right now, but there's a conversation on it. I'll be honest with you. I don't know if Io's resigning. Io grew up here. Io's seen this his entire career, his entire life. Is Io resigning? You think Io don't want to win? Like, you may be in a situation where you can't keep Io DeSumo. We'll see what the Bulls end up doing. We got to take a quick break here. And I do want to come back on the other side of this and talk about, is Billy Donovan's voice not resonating with this team? But first, we do got to let you guys in on a offer that we have here from FanDuel. The NBA is back, and there's no better place to get in on the action than FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Even if you missed the start of the game or want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who will score next to the fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you can even combine live bets into same-game parlays for a bigger payout. It keeps the game exciting, especially when your team is making that late game push. And right now, FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. So head to FanDuel.com to sign up and play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. More Locked On Bulls coming up next. Welcome back into another edition of Locked On Bulls, member of the Locked On Podcast Network, the #1 sports network, which is pretty cool, actually, to be a part of that. The #1 sports podcasting network in the country right now. Make sure that you guys hit that like button and subscribe to the page. Leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. There is this conversation. Is it time to fire Billy? Is Billy's voice not or going silent for them? Is it becoming just the annoying now? Then or what is we coming off of the holidays? Charlie Brown's teacher. You know what I mean? Is it become that? And I'll say this. There's a chance, there's a real 110% chance it has. Like, I'm not denying that. There's a chance that Billy's voice, Billy's system, what Billy wants to do has become just the annoying gnat that is flying around, and there is no purpose for you to have him as the head coach anymore. Here's my problem with that. And I know because it's the NBA, we don't listen to these as often all the way through, but I implore you to do that. If you listen to what Billy Donovan is asking the Bulls to do, if you listen to what Io DeSumo says about what Billy Donovan is asking the Bulls to do, if you listen to how Vooch talked about what the coaching staff is asking the Bulls to do, they're asking them to play modern basketball. They're asking them to do things that I would hope the next coach that comes in asks them to do. Now, if you want to talk about rotations being different, having the right guys in, having guys in the right moments, right? Maybe playing Jalen Smith more than you're playing Vooch. Right? Like, I'm fine with all of that. I think rotations is a conversation that is very valid. We've talked about Billy Donovan struggling at rotations for years, although it's very tough when you have a big part of your rotation like Matas Buzelis is right now, and he's just not performing on either end of the floor consistently enough for you to keep him out. So I think that throws your rotations off. But let's say that Billy Donovan gets fired and you go out and you hire, let's go Mike Malone or Taylor Jenkins. By the way, Mike Malone's rotations are god-awful as well. So I don't want Mike Malone. Don't let that championship fool you. You got a Jokic. That makes a big difference. But let's go with a guy like Taylor Jenkins or Mike Malone, either one. What they would come in and ask the Bulls to do, I would hope is very similar to what Billy Donovan is asking the Bulls to do. And that in that happening, you then have to ask yourself the question, if you're going to fire Billy, which maybe you need to, I'm not saying you don't, but if you're going to fire Billy, are you going to get different levels of effort from the next coach coming in and asking the same thing? Because What Billy Donovan and I think Indiana was on there as far as pace of play early on as well. What they're asking teams to do, as you watch around what they're asking their team to do, I should say, as you're watching around the NBA, other teams are starting to do it. As you're watching, it's a copycat league. As you watch what the Lakers are doing now, as you watch what Denver is doing now, as you watch it's all about the pace of play. It's all about getting the shot off earlier in the shot clock. It's all about moving the ball at a higher pace. The Golden State Warriors been on that. They've kind of slowed it down, but they've kind of gone to like this hybrid version of that. But you're seeing teams copy what Billy has asked you to do in camp and has asked you to do to start the season. And so whoever the next guy is, he's probably asking the same of the team. And if he's asking the same of the team, are you going to get a different result with a different voice? Maybe you will. Right? Like we've seen that happen where a different voice came in and it finally was just like, oh, okay, like I'll do it now because I'm not his guy and he may get rid of me. Now, I think for that to truly hold true, right? Like the different voice and all of that usually works out when it's a clean slate. When you move on from the GM, when you bring in a new coach and the new coach is like, this is what I'm asking you to do. By the way, if you don't do it, pack your family up and you take your butt to whatever city we about to send you to. Have fun. Usually that's when you see that work. That is not the situation here. This is not going to be, we're going to get the next coach to his guys. These are AK's guys. These are guys that AK wants on the team, that he wants in the building, that he's trying to put together. And so with that being said, like to me, this is a situation for the Bulls right now where the players got to start looking around and say, look, we might want to listen to what Billy's telling us, because if we don't, the next guy coming in is probably saying the same stuff. And then what is it? Now they start to look at you. There's a lot of focus on Billy Donovan right now. There's a lot of he's the common denominator. Move on from him. There's a lot of focus on him. Eventually, they're going to start looking at you. And for me, I've already started looking at you. I've already looked to the players, because in the NBA, the players can make the biggest difference no matter what. I've seen poorly coached teams win an NBA championship. The Milwaukee Bucks did it. Players mean more than the coaches. There's very few, maybe there's 3 coaches in the NBA that mean more than the players that are on the roster. Give me Spo. I'll throw I'll throw what we're seeing in Boston with Mazzulla on there, I guess. And maybe an Ime Udoka. But most of your coaches need your players to give you that extra to play hard for you to go out there and find ways to win. And so to me, like, I look at this situation that the Bulls are in right now, and is it time to fire Billy? Sure, go ahead. But what's coming in, the next guy that's coming in, unless you go back and get Tom Thibodeau, they're all going to be asking the same question. They're all going to be asking the same question. They're all going to be looking for the same out of this team. The style they're going to run is going to be very similar to what you see currently. You got to want to run it. That's what it comes down to, end of the day. Can the Bulls find some answers is the question that is on the table here. We got to talk about that coming up next. We do, though, first have to get into another ad read here on the channel, and this one is going to come from DoorDash. The NBA season is heating up, and DoorDash has found their perfect way to keep fans in their bag all season long. Whether you're watching for highlights, your fantasy team, or just your favorite player, DoorDash makes every game night even better. DoorDash is the official on-demand delivery platform of the NBA, and they're celebrating with something called the bag drop. Every time an NBA player scores 50 in a game, DoorDash drops 50% off your order with the Dash Pass the next day, and you're automatically entered for a chance to win the ultimate fan bag. We're talking player-inspired drip, exclusive gear, and stuff you'll actually want. I love it's not just food that you can get, snacks, you can get drinks, headphones, ice, even socks, all delivered on DoorDash. So next time someone goes off for 50, use the promo code NBA50 the next day to get 50% off on DoorDash with the Dash Pass. Plus, your shot at a bag drop. Dash Pass members only 50% off up to $10 a day after a 50-point game with promo code. Terms do apply. No purchase necessary. Ends April 13th. Open to U.S. residents 21 or older. Visit DoorDashInYourBag.com for full details. DoorDash in your bag all season long. More Locked On Bulls coming up next. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love to another edition of Locked On Bulls. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Shout out to the speaker. He commented, he said, hindsight is 2020. Nobody was calling Bud a bad coach when Milwaukee won. Literally, they were saying that Bud was going to be fired that season if he didn't win, or when he got eliminated from the playoffs. He just didn't get eliminated from the playoffs. Then he played the next season and they fired him immediately. And Missoula just lost to the Knicks because they didn't want to stop chucking 53s a game, but I'm surprised Billy lasted this long. Missoula lost to the Knicks because they didn't want to stop chucking 53s a game, but Joe Missoula also won a championship, and that team got banged up when Jason Tatum went out. So I think that there's some conversation on that as well. Can the Chicago Bulls find answers this season? I think you have the answer. I don't think that the Bulls are playing this confusing brand of basketball. The question on can the Bulls find answers is, are they ever going to start committing on the defensive end? Is there ever going to be a point where, just like they did in those first 6 games, they decide to lock back in? Because to me, that's where this team gets beat the most. And when you miss a rotation, it destroys your morale, which is also a terrible thing that we see. And maybe that one does lean a little bit more on Billy Donovan. Like, your team can't just mentally be destroyed because they miss a backdoor screen. But I don't think that this is a confusing struggle that the Bulls are having. I don't think that we're sitting here going, I don't get how this team is not winning games. I think the answer is obvious. Every single time this team says, you know what, let's give more effort on defense than we do on the offensive end. They create turnovers, they create steals, they go down on the offensive end, and they get fast break buckets. That's how the team was built. That's literally why you go out and you get Josh Giddey and you pay Josh Giddey. It's why they built this team this way, to be a fast break, run down the court team in transition. None of that happens, though, if you don't play defense. And it's not a lack of talent. It's not a lack of skill. It's a lack of want to and effort. There's nobody on the defensive end that you look at and you just go, oh, man, he got mixed up out there. He can't stand in front of his man. Billy literally has a defense in place, or Wes Unseld Jr., whichever one you want to say, has a defense in place that helps you and makes up for the fact that you don't have one-on-one dominant defenders like most of the NBA doesn't have. The defense literally is set up for you to do. You know what the problem is? When Trey Jones switches onto the shooting guard who takes the ball up top and Matas Buzelis doesn't rotate down, now all of a sudden there's a wide open backdoor pass and everybody's looking around going, well, what the heck happened there? How do we miss that one? I don't think that this is the mystery of the universe that the Bulls are dealing with here. I think there's truly just this lack of consistent want to be a defensive team. And when you live in that world, you're going to lose more times than you win. That's the bottom line. So I don't know. As far as can the Bulls find answers, I think the answer is right in front of your face. Are the Bulls going to look at that answer and say, let's keep checking that off on the test? That's the biggest question with this Bulls team. And if we really want to be honest with you, no. Like, we can blame everything else. We can blame the GM. We can blame the coach. We can blame, the everybody wants to blame everybody but the players. Your players play. And your players don't want to play right now. But hey, man, let me know how you guys feel in the comments below. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. As always, hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Follow us on everything at Locked On Bulls. You can follow me on everything at Pat the Designer. I'm going to get up out of here, man, because there's a lot of night left, and I don't want to spend more of it talking about this team. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. I appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love as always. See Red Nation, stand up. Peace.